Alright, this is my first video on measurements, and today I'm going to talk about emotional and psychological well-being and how I'm going to measure it. I'm not a fancy psychologist or anything like that, but I did my best to find a practical and reliable way to measure emotional and psychological well-being, and what I found was this thing called the SCL90. The SCL90 is a tool used by psychiatrists, psychologists to evaluate people who may suffer from a psychiatric disorder like depression or anxiety. What it is, it's a very creative name because it stands for Symptoms Checklist 90. It looks like this. It consists of 90 symptoms in a checklist fashion. On a scale of 0 to 4, you are to answer the following. How much were you bothered by, for example, crying easily is one of the items. How much are you bothered by crying easily? 0 would be not at all. So for many of you, maybe you're not bothered by crying easily. 4 would be like a 2-year-old who gets his ice cream cone stolen from him by a stranger, and the stranger stands there and stares at him and just licks it down, lick by lick. So that might bother a 2-year-old a little bit. They might cry pretty easily. There's other things on here that are a little more common, like feeling blocked in getting things done. I answered that as a 2. Sometimes I feel blocked in getting things done. Surprisingly enough, I racked up my score here, and looks like I'm relatively psychologically healthy. So after you answer all these questions, it takes about 10 minutes. There's a link to this in the caption where you can find the SCL90. And after you answer all the items, what I've done is make a little chart to organize all of my measurements that I'm going to take. And I put a link to this in the caption as well if you want to use my little chart here. And it looks like this. You got the metrics on the y-axis and the days and the average on the x-axis. Some of these I'm going to do 3 different days in a row, like the resting blood pressure, for example. Some of them I'm just going to do once, before and after. So SCL90 is an example of that. I'm only going to fill it out once, put it right there in the average. That's my score. So that's how I'm going to measure my psychological and emotional well-being. And if you want to join me, you're welcome to.